Welcome to 1337. Welcome to the future.
Welcome to 1337, the future of podcasts on the human element. I'm Max, your guide to understanding human behavior.
And I'm Sophia, here to explore the depths of the human psyche with you.
Today, we're going to be diving into some real-world conversations about beliefs, the kind of beliefs people hold on to really tightly.
Oh yeah, those deep-seated convictions.
Exactly. And we're going to be using this technique called Street Epistemology. We've got 3 YouTube videos to unpack.
Sounds interesting. So what is this street epistemology?
Well, it's kind of like holding up a mirror to someone's thought process, helping them see how they arrived at their beliefs.
So it's not about arguing or debating.
No, not at all. It's more about asking questions to understand the how and the why behind what they believe.
And the goal is to?
The goal is to encourage self-awareness, not necessarily to change their mind.
That makes sense. I think a lot of people could benefit from that kind of self-reflection.
Oh, absolutely. And, one of the videos features Anthony Magnabosco. He's kind of a big name in street epistemology.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of him.
He's talking with this college student, Tiana, about her belief in karma.
Karma. Okay, so what makes her so sure about karma?
Well, she's like 82% confident that it's true.
82%? Wow, that's pretty high. What's she basing that on?
She connects it to, personal experiences. For instance, she says if she thinks mean thoughts, she, breaks out in a rash.
I see.
But then Anthony asks her this really interesting question. He's like, how do you know it's karma and not just something bad happening?
Right, because bad things happen all the time, regardless of whether you believe in karma or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where this thing called the confidence scale comes in.
Confidence scale.
Yeah, so instead of getting bogged down in whether karma is real or not, they focus on how certain she is in her belief.
So it's not about right or wrong, but more about the strength of the belief.
Exactly. And people rate their confidence from 0 to 100.
I like that. It allows for some nuance, because beliefs aren't always black and white.
Right. And what's also interesting is that street epistemology focuses on the method of belief formation.
Method. So not just what you believe, but how you arrived at that belief.
Exactly. They look at whether the methods someone used are, reliable, Would they use those same methods for other beliefs?
That's a good point. It's like checking the consistency of your thinking.
And that leads us to this other cool thing called the outsider test, which we see in another video.
Okay, what's the outsider test?
It's like a thought experiment. Imagine someone else using the same reasoning you do, but to arrive at a completely different belief.
Interesting. So it's about stepping outside of your own perspective.
Exactly. Would you still find that reasoning convincing if someone else used it to support a belief you disagree with?
I see. So it helps you examine your own biases.
Right. It's all about seeing if your justifications hold up under scrutiny.
This is really fascinating stuff. So we've seen how street epistemology works with karma, but what about other types of beliefs?
Well, in another video, there's this interviewer named David, and he's talking to a young man named Owen, who's 100% confident in a belief he doesn't reveal at first.
Ooh, that's intriguing. 100% certainty is a pretty bold claim. What's he so sure about?
Well, David asks some clever questions. And eventually, Owen reveals that his unwavering belief is in the God of the Bible.
Belief in God. Okay, yeah, that's a big one. What's Owen's reasoning?
He believes it's because it's, foundational to his entire worldview.
Foundational? What does that even mean?
He basically says that questioning his belief in God would shake his whole reality. It's the bedrock upon which everything else is built.
But couldn't someone be 100% confident in something that's actually false for the same reason?
That's exactly the point David brings up. He uses the example of someone believing the earth is flat, totally convinced about it, because it just feels right to them.
So just because something feels foundational doesn't necessarily make it true.
Exactly. And that's a huge takeaway for all of us. How many of us have these beliefs we consider, unshakable, but we've never really examined the reasons behind them?
It really makes you think, what foundational beliefs do I hold that I might need to re-examine?
Right. And that's the beauty of street epistemology. It encourages that kind of self-reflection.
It's not about tearing down beliefs. It's about building stronger ones through careful examination and questioning.
Exactly. So we've looked at karma, religion, but can this approach be used for more, complex or controversial topics?
That's a great question.
Well, the third video we're diving into shows how street epistemology can be applied to discussions about politics.
Politics? Ooh, that's a minefield. Especially these days.
I know, right? But what's fascinating is how this guy, Peter Boghossian, another big name in street epistemology, facilitates these conversations.
So he's able to get people to have a productive conversation even when they have strong opposing views.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, you actually see people shifting their opinions on that confidence scale as they listen to each other and consider different perspectives.
Wow, so they're actually changing their minds. What kind of political topics are they discussing?
This video focuses on U.S. immigration and birthright citizenship, which are hot-button issues, especially right now.
Definitely. And it's so rare to see people actually changing their minds on these kinds of issues.
I know. It's pretty amazing. One exchange that really stood out to me was about the increase in illegal immigration during the Biden administration.
Oh, what happened there?
Well, this one participant was absolutely convinced it was all about, voter importation.
Voter importation, that's a pretty serious accusation.
It is. But through a series of questions, they started to acknowledge that maybe there were other explanations, like economic factors or the Biden administration's policies on border security.
That's interesting how just reframing the issue from an accusation to a question can open up the conversation.
Right. It's like, instead of starting with a conclusion, street epistemology encourages you to explore the reasons behind your beliefs.
Which can sometimes lead to unexpected shifts in perspective.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so powerful. It's a perfect example of how, you can move beyond just, knee-jerk reactions and really get into the complexity of an issue,
And what I found really cool is how Peter actually uses physical movement to make the process more engaging.
Oh, you mean like trust falls?
No, haha, not trust falls. But he does have people actually, move to different positions on a scale, physically move, to show how much they agree or disagree with the statement.
That's a really cool idea. It's like taking the discussion beyond just words, right?
Exactly. It becomes more visual, more visceral.
I like that. So did this lead to any, interesting interactions?
Oh, tons. In one conversation about birthright citizenship, this one participant, he starts out, completely against it.
And what his arguments?
He felt like, people were abusing it and that the Constitution was, outdated, intended for a different time.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that argument before.
But here's the thing, he actually changed his mind during the conversation.
Wow, really? He actually changed his position on birthright citizenship. That's pretty amazing.
It is. And it shows how powerful street epistemology can be, for, genuine intellectual growth.
So what changed his mind?
Well, after listening to other people and, really questioning his own understanding of the Constitution, he started to see the value of birthright citizenship.
Oh, interesting. So he, revised his interpretation.
Yeah. He began to understand the problems that could happen if you have, children of legal immigrants who are stateless, and he started to see the other side of the argument.
That's a great example of how it's not about forcing your viewpoint on someone, but more about giving them the space to examine their own beliefs.
Right, and to maybe even arrive at new conclusions.
It's you're not trying to win, you're trying to understand.
Exactly. And a lot of that comes down to the questions, the way they're asked. They're very carefully crafted to encourage deeper reflection.
Yeah, these interviewers, they're not just throwing out random questions, are they?
No. They're using specific techniques to gently guide the conversation.
Like what kinds of techniques?
Well, one technique that stood out to me was the use of hypothetical scenarios. What if this happened?
Oh, right. Like when Anthony asked Tiana, that college student, if you didn't litter and you didn't think bad things about people, would you never experience bad things?
Exactly. It's a way to challenge someone's thinking without being, aggressive or confrontational.
Yeah, it makes them think about things from a different angle.
And it's not about tricking them or proving them wrong. It's really about encouraging self-discovery.
Yeah.
Helping them uncover inconsistencies in their own logic.
I see. So it's more about guiding them to their own realizations.
Precisely. And another technique I noticed was the use of analogies, which can be really helpful for abstract concepts.
Oh yeah, like when David compared Owen's belief in God to someone who thinks the earth is flat, right?
Exactly. It's a really clever way to show that even a deeply held belief can be based on, faulty reasoning.
Right. It helps people to see their own beliefs in a new light.
And it's not just about the questions themselves, but the way they're delivered. The interviewers always maintain a very respectful and non-judgmental tone.
Yeah, that's super important, right? You're not going to get anywhere if you're attacking someone's beliefs.
Absolutely. It's about creating a space where they feel safe to be honest and open, even when discussing, sensitive topics.
Right. Because ultimately, you want to encourage dialogue, not shut it down.
And a big part of creating that safe space is the interviewer's willingness to acknowledge their own biases.
I noticed that too. It's like they're saying, hey, I'm not perfect. I have my own opinions, but I genuinely want to understand yours.
And that vulnerability can be really powerful, It shows they're not trying to push an agenda, just genuinely curious.
It's like they're saying, let's explore these ideas together with all our biases and perspectives out in the open.
And that kind of honesty can really build trust and make people more open to sharing their own thoughts and feelings.
It's like you're on the same team trying to figure things out together.
Right. And that's what I love about street epistemology. It's not about winning or losing. It's about understanding each other better.
And recognizing that, we all come from different places with different experiences and evidence.
And that's okay. What matters is that we're open to examining those beliefs, considering other viewpoints, and engaging in respectful dialogue.
Even when it's tough, which it often is.
Especially these days. But sometimes that dialogue, that back and forth, can be really transformative.
You mean like it can actually help us grow and become more like open-minded and understanding?
Absolutely. And that's what makes it so exciting. It really is. It reminds me of that saying, the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing.
Well, maybe not nothing.
Yeah, fair enough. But at least acknowledging that there's always more to learn.
Right. And that's what I like about street epistemology.
Yeah.
It encourages that kind of humility and curiosity.
It's like it's okay to not have all the answers, to question what you think you know.
And to really engage with people who see things differently than you do. Not to try and change their minds, but to actually try and understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, it's about building bridges instead of walls.
Especially these days, when it seems like everyone's just retreating into their own little echo chambers.
Right. It's so easy to get caught up in those echo chambers and just surround yourself with people who agree with you.
Especially with politics and religion, right? Things can get really heated really fast.
Oh, absolutely. But street epistemology offers a different way, a way to say, hey, let's slow down, let's listen to each other.
Let's try to get at the why behind the what.
Exactly. And maybe, just maybe, we'll find some common ground.
Or at least learn something new. Right.
Right. About ourselves and the world.
And isn't that what it's all about, really? Expanding our understanding, challenging our own perspectives, and becoming, more thoughtful people.
Absolutely. It's like street epistemology isn't just a conversation technique. It's a way of approaching life.
It's about being open to learning and to new ideas.
And treating people with respect. Even when, or maybe especially when, you disagree.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into street epistemology, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from all this?
I think for me, it's the power of respectful inquiry. It's amazing what you can learn when you approach conversations with genuine curiosity and actually listen to the other person has to say.
Yeah, even if you don't end up agreeing with them.
Right, you can still come away with a better understanding of their viewpoint.
And that in itself is valuable.
It is, and it can make for much more productive and meaningful conversations, whether it's online or in person.
So if you're tired of the same old arguments and echo chambers, give street epistemology a try.
You might be surprised by what you learn about yourself and the world around you.
And if you want to learn more about street epistemology and maybe even try it out yourself, visit our website.
That's right. Head over to 1337podcast.com for links to the videos we talked about today, plus a bunch of other resources.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into human thought. Until next time, strength and honor. I am Spartacus.
Thanks for watching. Tap into 1337podcast.com.
Be sure to visit us at 1337podcast.com.